Every year, lakhs of applicants apply to business schools across the world, and the way they shortlist their business school list is using rankings. Now, one of the most influential, if not the most influential rankings is the FT MBA rankings. And this year, everyone is raving about the fact that you have more European universities in the top 10 rather than American universities. People are also raving about the fact that you have 9 Indian MBA programs in the top 100. But I don't think you can actually rely on the FT MBA rankings, and I'll tell you why. Stanford has decided not to even apply for the FT MBA rankings. Columbia and Bocconi, which placed in the top 5 last year, are no longer there in the top 100 in the rankings, even though they decide to participate. So you've got to ask yourself the question, is there something fishy or suspicious going on behind the scenes? I mean, after all, can you really believe that Cranfield is a better business school than Warwick, or that ESCP deserves to be ranked above Oxford? So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly 5 reasons why I think that you can't trust the FT MBA rankings. I'm also going to give you in the second half of the video a 5-step process to shortlist B schools in the right way. Hi, my name is Amaya. I'm a study abroad counselor. I've helped hundreds of students get into the top ranked universities across the world. I also make YouTube videos on the side to help students make the right career choices and study abroad decisions. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. It'll be a win-win for the both of us. Now, to be fair, the FT MBA rankings do get a few things right. They give 16% weightage to the percentage of salary increase as well as the starting salaries that candidates get after completing their MBA program. And these are directly related to your career, so these things are good. But outside of these two things, the FTA MBA rankings get almost everything wrong. There are 5 things that they get wrong. Let's go through those one by one. The first thing that the rankings get wrong is that they place too much weightage on criteria that do not matter. 24% of the ranking weightage is on factors such as carbon footprint, ESG, percentage of female faculty, and percentage of international students. Now, I get that these things are important, but they don't really determine which sort of companies you get into or what salaries you get after graduation. Plus, it's easy for business schools to game the rankings by just working on these criteria and not working on things that are related to your placement. So this, according to me, is a huge red flag for the rankings. The second thing that the rankings get wrong is that they get very few weightage to criteria that do actually matter to you. You pay between 50 lakh rupees to 1.5 crores for a top MBA program around the world. So you want to be sure that whichever MBA program you go to will help you get a job within 3 months of graduation, and that to a high paying job. Now, the FT MBA rankings give only a 2% weightage to this metric, that is the percentage of students who get a job within 3 months of graduation. And this produces some very funny results. For example, Nanyang Business School, which is a part of NTU, manages to place only 63% of its students within 3 months of graduation. Yet, it is ranked higher than Cornell, where 83% of the graduates get a job within 3 months, and that too higher paying jobs than those students from NTU. Now, it's not just the percentage of students who get a job within 3 months. There are other criteria such as the strength of the alumni network, the strength of the career services team, and career progression, all of which have lesser than 5% weightage in the rankings. The third reason that the rankings produces some very skewed results is because they're structurally designed to give an advantage to European MBA programs as well as Asian MBA programs. So let me explain this. See, 16% of the ranking is based on the percentage of salary increase that students get. Now, in theory, a business school could choose to recruit students who had a starting salary which was very low to begin with, and then place them in high paying jobs later on, thereby inflating this number. And this is exactly what European and Asian MBA programs seem to be doing. You see, in European and Asian MBA programs, 70 to 90% of the students come from international backgrounds, mostly from developing countries where salaries are already low. Juxtapose this to American MBA programs where only 30 to 40% of the cohort is built on international students. Now, this gives a massive boost to the European MBA programs. How big of a boost, you ask? Well, if you take a look at the rankings, 7 out of the 10 top MBA programs are European. But if you sort the same ranking only on the basis of starting salaries, which is arguably a more important metric, then only 3 European business schools feature in the top 10. And it's not just the percentage increase in terms of salary. There are a few other factors such as value for money, or the percentage of international students, and even the percentage of students who get jobs outside their home country, which contribute to European and Asian MBA programs getting an advantage over the American MBA programs. So the fact that you have business schools like INSEAD and LBS ranked above Harvard Business School isn't exactly an indicator that they're better than Harvard Business School. It just means that they've learned to play the ranking game better. All in all, 29% of the ranking weightage structurally favors the European and Asian MBA programs, so you need to be cautious. The fourth reason why you can't rely on the FT MBA rankings is that they collect too much of unverified data from alumni. 56% of the ranking criteria data is actually collected from alumni, and call me cynical, but I have a feeling that alumni have every incentive to inflate the numbers that they give their business schools. For one, by giving better numbers to their own business school, they justify in their own minds their own decision of taking that MBA program. Second thing is they know that by inflating numbers, it makes their business school look good, which in turn makes them look good. Plus, there is no way FT can actually verify this data, and this data is very subjective. The final reason why you can't trust the FT MBA rankings is because they don't collect any data from employers. This was probably the most shocking and surprising thing to me. You would think that an MBA ranking would at least take the effort to talk to a few employers to understand what their perception of graduates from different MBA programs are. After all, employer perception does matter when it comes to placements. And it's not that you can't do this. The QS MBA rankings do have such a criteria in their ranking, but the FT MBA rankings do not. And I think because of this, the rankings are greatly skewed. So those were my 5 reasons why I think you can't trust the FT MBA rankings. Now, if you can't trust the FT MBA rankings, it begs the question, how exactly do you shortlist MBA programs? After all, it is a significant investment in terms of time, energy, and money that you are going to make. So I have a 5-step process for you, which I will quickly explain. But before that, I have a quick announcement to make. If you're a student who's applying to any sort of university, any sort of program abroad, and you want to know realistically what your chances are at your dream university, you can schedule a 15-minute free profile evaluation session with me using the link in the description. In just that 15-minute session, I'll tell you exactly what your chances are, what's going well for your profile, and what you need to improve on. I myself did my MBA from the Rotman School of Management, and I've helped lots of students get into their dream universities, so I know how these things work. So if you're interested, do click the link in the description and my team will get in touch with you. Now back to the video. Okay, so according to me, the best way to create your MBA program shortlist is to identify those programs which will help you achieve your career goals, and then find out which of those programs actually fit your budget and other preferences. And I'll explain exactly how you can do this in 5 steps. Step 1, identify what career you want post your MBA. You need to decide what sort of industry, job role, and function you want to work in. Whether it's consulting, finance, investment banking, or something else, you need to have absolute clarity on your post MBA career goals. So let's say, for example, you want to pursue consulting in France. Well, then you have 2 good business schools. You have ESCP and you have ESSEC. Now, both these business schools have campuses in France, and both these business schools are ranked pretty similarly on the FT MBA rankings. But while ESCP places only 14% of its class in consulting roles, ESSEC places 24% of its class in consulting roles. So if I were you and if I wanted to have this sort of post MBA career goal, consulting in finance, I would clearly choose ESSEC over ESCP. Step 2 is to know your budget. Once you've identified those MBA programs which can help you achieve your career goals, you've got to get rid of those programs which are outside your budget. 2 MBA programs can have very similar rankings but very different cost structures. For example, Boston University is ranked number 64 on the FT MBA ranking and costs 1.3 crores. But Mannheim Business School, which is in Germany, which is ranked 65, just one below Boston University, costs only 51 lakhs. Step 3 is to decide what duration of MBA program you want. Now look, you have MBA programs in Australia, Canada, and United States, and most of these programs are 1.5 to 2 years in duration. On the other hand, you have European MBA programs which are mostly 1 year in duration. You need to decide what duration of MBA program you want to go for. Now, on one hand, European MBA programs are more affordable and have higher ROI because they are shorter in duration. But on the other hand, going for a longer MBA program can be beneficial if you want a more relaxed experience, or if you're a younger candidate who needs the work experience of an internship between the 2 years, or if you plan to switch careers post your MBA, because again, an internship can help with that. Step 4 is to align the business school shortlist to your profile. And by this, I don't mean in terms of your GRE, GMAT scores or your GPA or your work experience. Those are hard quantitative aspects that you're going to definitely look at when you're creating your B school shortlist. No, I'm talking about the more qualitative aspects. You see, 2 business schools can be similarly ranked, but they might want very different things from their applicants. Top tier business schools have a selection rate of only 10 to 15%, yet 20 to 30% of the applicants who apply have the requisite scores and work experience. So ultimately, it does come down to whether your skills, traits, qualities, and strengths match what the business school is looking for. Let's take an example. INSEAD, which is ranked in the top 10, heavily indexes on those candidates who have international exposure. Harvard Business School, which again comes in at number 10 on the FT MBA ranking, doesn't care much about international exposure, but they care more about leadership experience, even if it is at the local level. So you want to apply to those business schools where your skills, strengths, talents, experience match what the B school is looking for, because that way you can maximize your chances of getting a good admission. The 5th and final step is to curate your B school list on other preferences such as your preferred teaching pedagogy and location preference. If you've been following all the steps that I've been describing so far, you will come down to a list of 10 to 12 B schools that are near perfect for you. Now, applying to B schools is expensive. Each B school application when it comes to MBA programs can cost anywhere between 5,000 rupees to 20,000 rupees. So you might want to save on some costs. So if you want to further shortlist these universities from 10 to 12 down to maybe say 6 or 8, then you need to choose those business schools where the teaching pedagogy matches your style of learning and where the location is near those companies where you want to get a job in, because that can help you in networking with the right people and getting the jobs that you want. Alright, so that's a wrap for this video. I've told you my opinion about the FT MBA rankings, and now I want to hear your opinion in the comments. And as always, if you have any queries about studying abroad or the application process, do let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to respond. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.